Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the LiveFitNow Podcast. My name is Vicki Brown and I am your host. Now this is going to be the first of many solo episodes. So in between my guest conversations, I'm going to be doing some of my very own podcast episodes, and these are going to include lots of different subject areas, mostly focused upon my own expertise, experience, and just general discussions of things that I would like to share with you. So today's conversation is going to be about movement, and it's going to be a fairly short episode, which most of these solo ones will be, and it really is about the general concept of movement. So last week I did a post encouraging people to just move. Now this can include exercise, which is obviously a big part of my life. It's something that I enjoy doing, and I work with people that have decided that they want to move more. But sometimes I also work with people that actually don't particularly like the idea of exercise. So I want to really talk about the broad concept today. So it can include exercise, but it also does not have to. So the concept today is movement. Now, I would like to firstly say, at this time, we are all finding different amounts of time to move. Now, for some of us, that's a big, it's a big part of my life. Movement always has been. So I am doing quite a lot. It's a way of which I can help my clients. It's a way in which I can add structure to my week, and it's something that makes me feel good. So I am doing more movement, perhaps in a lot of ways than ever, because I'm doing more classes. I'm still doing weight training. I'm taking the dog out every day. So there's a real combination of different kinds of movements, and for me they're all things that I enjoy, so I'm finding it relatively easy to bring myself into a routine for that. But I know for a lot of people, particularly people that already had routines, if you're going to the gym every week and now that's taken away from you, all those habits and routines that you've had are no longer there. So we're looking at trying to find out a new routine that we can get ourselves into. So it's really important, I think, at this stage to focus upon yourself, what you have access to, what you feel like doing, what you want to do, and try as much as possible to just remove that level of comparison. I know it's hard, and quite honestly, it's something that I would recommend as a general rule. Try not to compare yourself to others. I know social media gives a wonderful platform for us all to connect, but sometimes it can induce sort of feelings of inadequacy or missing out on things that we should be doing. Well, I think right now we don't need to put any extra pressure on ourselves, but what we do need to do is try and remember that there is this really important thing that I think we have generally become disconnected with, and it's something that I like to talk about a lot, and actually a lot of my guests have also been bringing up similar themes throughout the recording so far, and that is we need to reconnect our minds and our bodies. And this is something that we can absolutely do through movement, not necessarily focusing on exercise, but thinking about moving the body. So right now, do you find yourself sat for longer periods of time than normal? I've found that most people I've been talking to, they are experiencing this because normally they're running around, they're doing this, that and the other. They're not spending most of their day in the house. So this is the challenge that we find ourselves facing at the moment. But actually, realistically, we are moving 20% less than we were a few years ago. So we are becoming more and more sedentary, less movement. We are having more and more technologies helping us make our lives easier, but meaning that we're moving less. So this is a problem, and I hope that the rest of this podcast just allows you to think of a few ways in which you can get your body moving more. So I think it's a really good place to start now, to tell you some of the benefits of moving and why I really want you to try and move a little bit more and just be conscious of moving your body. I think one of the number one benefits of movement is it is a massive improver of mood. So this is proven on so many levels that if you move your body, you are going to be in a better mood. It can also reduce stress and anxiety, which again is something that for most is heightened at the moment. So anything that we can do to try and help reduce stress and anxiety is a fantastic benefit. It can also decrease lethargy. Now, if there's one thing I've really noticed over the last few weeks is how many people have been experiencing lethargy, myself included. Considering a lot of us are doing less than normal, a lot of people are still sleeping okay. Obviously, if you already had sleep problems, that may have also been exacerbated if you are more stressed and anxious. But people are finding they're sleeping the same, they're doing less, but they're actually more tired than they can remember being. And this is a big link to moving less. So if you're sat on the sofa and you're thinking, I just can't be bothered, I don't feel like it, I'm really tired, I'd rather just stay on the sofa or go to bed and just take it easy. And as much as sometimes that's what we need to do, I think more often than not at the moment, we need to think about how we feel, and actually if we move our body, the chances are we are going to feel far less lethargic. I find doing my morning classes really helps lift my energy levels for the rest of the day. That is one of the massive benefits right now, to find yourself having a more productive day just by doing a little bit of movement. Another benefit of movement is improved concentration. Now, I think this is, again, really important right now because I know a lot of people are trying to work from home, they're homeschooling, they're trying to juggle all these different things from within their homes, and maintaining that focus and concentration is really important, and getting frustrated with ourselves is not going to be helpful. So again, a little bit of movement can help improve concentration. And also another sort of added bonus, if you found that you're slumping a lot by nature of perhaps not being sat at a proper desk to do work, or you are just sat a lot more because you're feeling tired, you may have found that you're starting to round your shoulders more and you're kind of slumping and just not feeling particularly upright when you stand and when you walk about. By doing some extra movement in your day, there is every chance that you will also see the benefit of improved posture. So there are lots of good things that you can very quickly feel from including more movement in your day. There are the benefits. Now I want to give you some really easy ways of which you can move. Some really good examples. It's really important to remember it doesn't need to be a set workout. It can be, but it does not have to be. Movement is going to be a much more broad umbrella term for you to think about. We could try some normal ways of exercising and also some completely different ones. So these are things you might have done before, and these are things you might not have tried before. But I would really love you to give a couple of these a go. So I guess we'll start with the more obvious ones that I think a lot of people are doing right now. Going for a walk or going for a run, whether it be doing a couch to 5K, doing the 5K run for the NHS, going for a walk with your dog, with your kids, with your husband. There are so many different ways that you can get out and about to do that, but they're kind of the simple ways to get your body moving and also get out in the fresh air and the sunshine. Another option is to do an online class. You can do this. There's lots of YouTube videos out there, and there are also many live workouts across many different streaming platforms, from strength training to cardio workouts, from yoga to Pilates. There really are just so many options out there right now. I couldn't recommend more. Just giving some a try as well. So there might have been a form of exercise that you've never tried before that you think, you know what? Let's just give it a go. It might be something you absolutely love. Having said that, you also might not like it, but at least you've given it a try and it's something new. It's another way of stimulating your mind and body together to try something different. So that's another option. And then there are some more less obvious ways to move your body. Getting out in the garden and doing some gardening, some digging, some weeding, mowing the lawn. There's so many different ways we can get moving in the garden. And also housework. If you are in the mood for a bit of a spring clean, as it is that time of year, that is another great way of getting moving. And not only do you get the benefit of movement, you're also getting the benefit of a cleaner and tidier house. One of my favourite things to recommend people do right now is pick some of your favourite songs. It may not be current music. In fact, I really thoroughly recommend getting out an old CD or finding a playlist of a decade ago and just dance to that music. Dance to music that makes you feel good. Pick your favourite songs out, dance around your living room, dance around your kitchen, and just see how that makes you feel, because you don't even feel like you're exercising, but you're moving your body and you're enjoying the movement, and it's cheering you up and making you feel good. So I really couldn't recommend having a dance to some music as a fantastic way of getting moving. Another option is to play. I think as we grow up as adults, we forget that there's no reason why we can't still play. We can play with our kids if we need to. We can just get out a football and kick it around the garden. I think it's really important just to remember that it really can be fun. It doesn't necessarily have to feel like a chore, and it doesn't necessarily have to feel like exercise, but to just get the body moving can have so many benefits to our minds and to our bodies. It couldn't be simpler to try and aid our physical and mental well-being right now, to try and do something that we find fun and enjoyable and simple that we can easily incorporate into our everyday life. So I think this is a good time to move on to thinking about how long and how often we should be trying to move. Quite honestly, I think we need to be moving every single day. In some way, we are designed to move our bodies. However well we may be, however much we can move within our own capabilities, we need to move our bodies. If right now you're not managing anything at all, really focus on trying to start small. Okay, this is 1 or 2 movements. It could be a couple of press-ups against the worktop. It could be reaching up to the ceiling for a full body stretch and then reaching towards your toes to have a nice stretch. It could be going up onto your tiptoes to do some calf raises 4 times. It can be flicking a switch on the kettle in the morning and then doing 5 squats. It could be doing 1 minute of star jumps every time you get up from the sofa. They can be really tiny. And I know for some people they might think, well, what's the point in that? That's not going to do very much. But as soon as we go from sedentary to moving, it changes our brain. Our brains start to act differently. Okay, so it really can be the tiniest of movements that can make a massive difference to how we then feel. So start really small if you're struggling at the moment to do anything at all. It's also just a really good way of increasing how much you're doing. So if you haven't got to think about, oh, I've got to do lots of things, but you just can do a couple of things, you're far more likely to do that. And actually over the course of a day and a week, that can add up to quite a lot more. Another really sort of good short goal would be 5 minutes. So you can just do a 5-minute workout that you can follow along to, or you can just make up. You can just think of 5 exercises that you quite like to do and perform them. It could be a minute of squats, a minute plank, a minute of tricep dips, a minute of press-ups, a minute of star jumps. It really can be anything. What do you like to do? What makes you feel like you're having a little bit of fun just for 5 minutes? As I've already mentioned in this podcast, another good way of doing this can be signing up for a class. It can be a really good way of immersing yourself. Again, really allowing yourself to get that mind-body connection, just because you're following along to class, you're joining in with other people, you're feeling that connection because you're doing something with someone else, whether it be just following along to the instructor or with the other people in your class. That can give you a real big boost and make you feel so much better. And something I really want you to try and think about is, how do you feel when you do something? How is something making you feel? When you do something, are you finding that it's making you feel much better, or you feel good from it? You feel like you've done something fun? But likewise, you might find, and sometimes this can be stuff that you normally do, but right now isn't feeling so much fun. And if you're finding that one thing's making you feel really good and something else isn't, focus on the things that make you feel good. And also remember, every single day, I think a lot of us are experiencing emotional roller coasters right now. So one day you might feel like doing something, whatever that might be, and then the next day you might think, no, that's not what I want to do today. And that is absolutely fine. We need to pay a little bit more attention to how we're feeling and try and do something that fits within how we're feeling that day. So one day you might want to go for a walk, the next day you might want to dance around your kitchen. It doesn't matter. The key right now is that I'm trying to encourage you to do is making sure you move every single day and see how much better you feel. So I really want you to focus on moving to feel well rather than focusing on reaching a specific goal. Because as much as I'm trying to encourage you to move in a very free way, of course, if you have a specific goal that you're trying to work towards, there does need to be structure, there does need to be discipline. But what I'm trying to encourage right now is the more movement that you can try and do every single day, the extra benefits that you get from that right now. Hopefully it will encourage you to do more throughout the day. It will make you feel more energetic. It's going to make you have better concentration. It's going to make you generally in a better mood. And I think that is so important right now for our own well-being, and it's really useful for the people around us as well. I really hope you are motivated and inspired by this podcast, because I really want to show how easy and simple it is, but how important it is that we move every day. So if you're finding yourself sat on the sofa, and if you're listening to me right now sat on the sofa, get up, do something to move right now. Get up, couple of reps, do 3 squats, do 5 star jumps, reach up to the ceiling, reach down to the floor, whatever you feel like doing right now, get up and do something, because I am certain that you will feel better afterwards. So thank you for listening to my first solo podcast. I shall return again soon with some more subject areas. Please do get in touch if you have anything to cover. If not, I shall see you next time, and please do not forget to subscribe to the LiveFitNow podcast, rate, and don't forget to tell all your friends and family about it. Thank you for listening. Until the next time.